As a mother, I have forgotten who I am and what I enjoy. I assume, in context, the bearing or weight of being a mother and making your life about someone else has detached you from what brings you to life and what brings joy to your life outside of being a mother. Life is about discovering, and more importantly, I would say, creating the person that we want to be. Often it means putting ourselves in new environments that help us remember what we enjoy and what we're about. We could also do life through subtraction, meaning sometimes if we don't remember what we enjoy, we can start with subtracting the things that we don't enjoy, almost like an anti-vision of life. What don't I want? What don't I enjoy doing? Start there and then create new experiences for yourself. Now, again, some of this may seem like impractical advice because I don't know your situation, and I know being a mother is one of the hardest jobs in the world. And is somebody works a full-time job and is talking to a mother's like, oh, I remember my part-time job. Right? Being a full-time mom isn't 40 hours, it's 24/7. And so hats off to you. It can take a lot to just show up and be a great mom. And the fact that you're asking the question, I applaud you. With that being said, and practical advice aside, put yourself in environments where you are trying new things. You're doing things you haven't done before. Maybe it's picking up a yoga class or a Pilates class or going to the gym or simply beginning to create a habit of walking around your neighborhood or pick up a hobby. Maybe it's raising chickens or making sourdough bread, but do something that spurs growth. Happy people are growing people. And very often, simply picking up something that helps you grow and develop will begin to help you remember who you are and what you're about, and you're not just a mother. Right? And I hate to say it that way because it just doesn't seem to do any service to mother, but in context of your question, start by trying to pick up a hobby, find ways to grow. If you can travel, do it. Maybe join a club or a group or a community that you can experience outside of motherhood that can help you remember those latent values and those latent loves that maybe you have forgotten in the midst of being a mom.
Any advice for someone who is completely starting over financially in their 40s?
You're not completely starting over. I don't know you and I don't know your story because I don't know who's asking the question. But I had a dear friend who took 10 years to build a multi-million-dollar business, and I tell him all the time, I was like, we grew up together, went to school together. Tell him, you had a worse starting hand than most everyone in our social circle, and yet you did more with it. He eventually dissolved his business and sold it, and he made millions of dollars and then lost it. And he's in his early 40s now, and that was kind of his sentiment. I'm starting over. And I said, you're not starting over. You know a lot more than you did 10 years ago. What can you do with that? You've learned a lot of lessons. You have a lot of experience that you didn't have 10 years ago. So I asked him, I was like, knowing everything you know now, do you think it would have taken you 10 years to build the business you did? And he abruptly and quickly said no. So then you're not starting over. You're starting with a much better hand and you know not what to do. So get back to work. So much of our suffering is tied to our perspective of what is happening to us. And so I think reframing that from I'm starting over to I get a fresh start with everything I know now, you get back to work. That's the human experience. And I think there's seasons where we recreate ourselves. The 40s is one of those seasons. I think many cultures, it was accepted you weren't even an adult until you were in your 40s. You were still just accumulating knowledge and experience to make sense of your world. So I think the frame matters there, and I would say give yourself a break, take what you've learned and all the things that you've accumulated so far in life and get back to work. The old Japanese saying, I believe, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, the second best time is today. The context of the question around time, I would surrender the illusion of time here. Don't overweight time. Just decide that you no longer want to do this. And then do the work necessary to stop self-sabotaging. Now, this may take a therapist, this may take a coach, it may take a therapist and a coach. It'll obviously take different behaviors and different beliefs from you, but I think it starts with a decision. When you decide, I no longer want to live this way. So I wouldn't put the weight on 30 years, 40 years, 100 years, and just decide today, I no longer want to be this way. And then get the help necessary to help change the behaviors, the beliefs, the stories, the values that continue to put you in that position. And generally, self-sabotage is a bunch of unconscious belief systems or stories about the world that we're unaware of here. We may be unaware of here or aware here, but we're unaware here why we keep repeating these behaviors. They're unconscious for a reason. And so again, it may take a therapist or a coach to help you with it, but it starts with the decision that I no longer want to be this way and I'm willing to do what it takes to change.